Okay, so this video is going to help you make your stem and leaf plots. Um, I have 120 pieces of data, so I decided to not do all 120 pieces of data for my stem and leaf plot. Um, Also, when you're doing a stem and leaf plot, you have your stems and you have your leaves. Okay, so let me show you my stem and leaf plot here. Okay, your stem is over here. These are like your tens places. So if you look at my key, it says 1 line 2 equals 12 hours. So this is my line. So here's my 1 and here's my 2. So that actually means this 1 and this 2 stand for 12 hours. So this is like 10 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours. This would be 4, 6, and 7, and this would stand for 20. Okay, so that's kind of how you read this. This is not a 0, 1, and a 2. This is actually a 10. Here's my 1 and here's my 0. This is an 11. Here's my 1 and here's my 1. And this is a 12. So the key helps you to read it. In order to have a good stem and leaf plot, it's good to have, maybe like at least 2 to 3, maybe 4 different tens places. I have seen stem and leaf plots before that actually have multiple stems. So I could actually say 0 and 0, and I could put all of them, 0 to 5 first. So I could actually say 4, 6, and 7, and I could say 1 and then 1, and that would be 0, 1, 2, and then I would say 2, 0. Now, since this problem right here, I didn't put a number in, that means I don't have data. I don't want to just put a 0 there because a 0 actually means data. Okay, so this one would be like 0 through 5, and this would be like 6 through 9. And this would be, 10 through 15, and this would be 16 through 19. This would be 20 through 24, and then I don't have any more. So you could actually do them like this, which is how probably I would have done them if I would have done all 120 pieces of my data. Because if I look at my data, we've talked about this in some of my other videos, that most of my data is actually between like 3 and 7. So what I did is I actually used my data for my categorical survey because it made a little bit more sense for me. So I sorted by category, all right, and then if I looked at my data here, I did this down here. I made the list for all my categories, okay, and I just grabbed, maybe 7 of the higher categories. So I use like Swedish Fish and Skittles and Peanut Butter Cups, Mike and Ike's, Milky Ways, Kit Kats. I use those, all right? So let's take a look at my stem and leaf plot here. For the next few graphs here, I'm going to use that same data that I just explained to you. So Swedish Fish, Skittles, Peanut Butter Cups, Kit Kats, Milky Ways, chocolate, like Hershey's chocolate, and Sour Patch Kids. So this is the data that I use. So 12, 20, 10, 11, 7, 6, and 4. So here's my 20, 10, 11, 12, 7, 6, and 4. So you kind of see this data. Now, the reason why I like this to find the median is because, so a lot of times you have your numbers, they're all messed up. You get all these numbers, they're all out of order. And making a stem and leaf plot, you can kind of get them in order. And then you can easily go from the largest, you can cross that off, to the smallest. And you cross that one off. Okay, then my next largest would be 12 and 6, 11 and 7, and right there, that would be my median. Okay, so again, stem and leaf plot is helpful when you're looking at it that way. It also kind of says, well, I have a lot of data maybe right here in this area, okay, whereas right here I only have that 120. Now keep in mind, again, I'm not using all of my data. I'm just using some of it. Now again, for yours, I want you to use all of your data. So if you have 20 surveys, you're going to do all 20. If you have 30, you're going to do all 30. So I just picked some so I can get you started, make an example for you, so I can get you going here. Okay, so stem and leaf plots. Be sure to include a key.